Alright, so I'm taking a walk along my community and I come across something that someone has thrown out for the trash. And it appears to me that it's a table of some sort. And it's kind of a whitish, yellowish pine. But as I'm looking at this table, it looks like maybe there's some big gaps and there's a lot of, this is really chewed up. This isn't really that smooth. There's a lot of rough marks in here. If you push it this way, yeah, it's really loose. It's not stable at all. You know, this is the stability issue on all the legs there is no stability. This piece is exactly like this. It just goes on the bottom down here. So that's going to fit in there. It looks like it's missing. It looks like a resting stabilizer of some sort. I don't know what they're exactly called. Some of that's just tightening some things up. I have an idea of how I can use maybe some braces to maybe stabilize it. Okay, so are there some problems with the table? Yes, there are. Is that why they threw it out? Probably. Do I know a lot about woodwork? No, I do not. But I'm looking at it going, I think I can fix this and at least make it functional. So let's find out if I can. Looks like there were some pieces missing. Something that looks like this. It sets in the wood and that bottom shelf is going to sit on it, or that bottom board. I don't have all the pieces, but I went to Home Depot, I went to Lowe's, I went to another hardware store, I went to Hobby Lobby, I went to Michael's. They don't have it. I found something that I have, and it just so happens to be the same diameter. I'm going to cut this out. I'm going to cut it to the length. I think I could put maybe a little piece of tape around this end so it snugs in there really tight, and I'm going to see if that solves the problem. I'm going to start off with the 60 grit, and I've got my safety goggles, and I can show you, see where this is kind of pitted, and you see these little pits. This is really rough through here, so, and all this is rough. I'm gonna sand that stuff down, see if I can smooth it out and clean it up. I think it's a pre-stain so I don't get horrible blotching. This is not my background, but I think I can salvage it. You know, they were talking about sanding soft, porous wood, especially pine, and what I was seeing from a lot of the so-called internet gurus, they said sand down to 120 grit. However, when I read the directions on this, it says sand down to 180 grit. They basically said between 15 and 20 minutes, let it set before you apply your stain. And after again reading the directions on this, it says to let stand for 30 minutes. In fact, it says at least 30 minutes, but no longer than 2 hours. So I'm going to let it sit for probably at least 30 minutes and definitely under an hour before I apply the second coat, or what I would say is the main stain coat. I've got my mineral spirits in which I'll wash the brushes in. I've got this little dish here with the spoon. I'm going to spoon out this stuff into this cup so I don't keep putting my brush back into the main can. And then I've got the pre-wood conditioner brush, and then I've got my stain brush that I'm going to use. And as far as letting it hang and dry, so I'll sit there, put the wire through it, hang it finish pre-wood stain, then stain, let it dry, and I'll see how that all stuff turns out. So I'm just applying the pre-stained wood conditioner. So I'm going to try the Kona stain. It's a dark stain. I was looking for more yellow gold stains, but I couldn't find any, so that's what I'm going to go with. Well, here goes nothing. When I stained it and wiped it, I didn't like the way the wood grain looked. I didn't like it at all. So I just stained it and let it set, almost like I'm painting it. And this is what it turned out. Alright, so this is the white table after I finished staining it. And the staining did not turn out like I originally wanted it to, so I really stained it dark, basically like painting it. And then this is after I've retouched it up. Right now I just put the varnish over it. Now I'm going to let this dry. I put everything together, and now I spoke earlier about the stability of the table. Well, I've tightened things up and it looks really stable. You know, this. And so for some added stability, I'm going to put these corner braces in here. And then one on this side. And I think that's going to give me the lateral support. 3/4 inch braces, that's the one I have in my hand. Put in my elbow braces, or corner braces, depending on what you want to call them. Little 90-degree angle braces, all 4 corners. And then, as I set this down, so originally I was showing you as far as stability, it wasn't that bad. Of course, it's still really good, but this way it was super wobbly. It's not stable at all. And now, that's way more sturdy. They're not that visible. Yes, if you get down, now you can see the brace, and you can see the other brace. The whole idea was, this table was out for trash. I came by, carried it a couple blocks home, thought, I wonder if I could fix this up. And now I have a functional, stable table that I could utilize.